Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. New hepatitis strain not in Trinidad and Tobago and the region. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Friday, 6th May 2022. Details when we return.
Hubbard's Motor Department Mount Gay and Hubbard's Tire Bay, located at the Building Supplies Compound in Grand Anse, are reminding the motoring public that another round for licensing and inspection has begun. Just arrived on new shipments of quality furrowed and torque tires to fit all makes and models of vehicles at competitive pricing. Shop early to avoid the hassle of long lines. WhatsApp them on 473-405-5482. Hubbard's, quality service, affordable prices.
Welcome back. A new strain of hepatitis that is affecting young children in some countries globally is not in Trinidad and Tobago at this time. That confirmation is coming from health officials who are alerting parents to the signs and symptoms associated with the new strain. TV6's Alicia Boucher has the details.
Hepatitis is inflammation of the liver. On April 21st, the World Health Organization issued an advisory on a new strain of hepatitis that is being seen in children, mostly under the age of 5, although there have been a few cases in children who are over 10 years old. Pediatrician Dr. Joanne Pohl says cases are now at 200 globally. The mystery strain is not linked to hepatitis A, B, C, D, or E.
It's a new hepatitis, and we have had a few of them who have been ill, requiring liver transplants, and only one so far who has died. Majority, interestingly enough, has been in the UK. We're not sure if there's something genetic or there's something else, but at least half of them have been in England.
Dr. Paul says there are also cases in Europe and in the United States of America.
It has not been in the Caribbean, and as of yesterday, there's been no cases of this mystery hepatitis at all in Trinidad.
According to the pediatrician, jaundice is one of the signs associated with this strain, but she says parents of newborn babies need not to be worried with the appearance of jaundice after their baby is born.
Expect for the newborn, you're going to have some mild jaundice and then it'll resolve by itself. I'm talking about after that newborn phase. If you're seeing those signs of jaundice, abdominal pain, loss of appetite, some diarrhea, and you're concerned, make sure you have them taken to a health facility.
A liver function test should be done.
You should be looking for something called AST or ALT above 500. So in terms of the WHO case definition, they've been looking for all these liver enzyme values above 500. And what's the cause? Actually, the thing about the science of it is really much evolving. So at this present time, the absolute answer to that is they don't know, they're not sure. So most likely, they're looking at adenovirus.
The type 41F has been identified as a possible cause, as this has been found in the majority of cases. However, medical experts have also found a link between the new hepatitis and previous COVID-19 infections, in particular from the Omicron variants. Dr. Pohl says it might also be due to a weakened immune system, as children were more or less in a bubble because of the pandemic.
Note that there's no link to the COVID vaccine at all. Those children less than 5 have not had the vaccine. There's been no link to that. There's been no link so far to return to school.
Alicia Boucher, TV6 News.
Fern Carey of ZNS News in the Bahamas tells us that the central bank there announced that the tourism sector rebounded and contributed to some economic growth.
The revival of international travel as a result of relaxed COVID-19 restrictions and pent-up demand following pandemic lockdowns, providing a significant boost to the Bahamian tourism sector, with the central bank reporting that stopover visitor arrival numbers to the country are extremely encouraging. Central bank Governor John Roll, who provided details on the sector's recovery in his quarterly economic press briefing Monday, says the period of January to March 2022 was the first time that the Bahamas experienced undisrupted business since 2019.
Airport departure data, which is a good benchmark for the stopover sector, quarterly visitor volumes appear to have regained about 75% of the traffic experienced in the same period of 2020, which had been spared the brunt of the lockdown. However, this still leaves important gains to be recouped before the 2019 pre-pandemic baseline for the winter season would be eclipsed.
Central bank figures also show that the vacation rental market has improved significantly in recent months, recording increased occupancy levels and higher average nightly room rates.
Recent trends have also been characterized by an expanded share of business going to the Family Islands, where more than half of all listings were noted, and the average occupancy rates trended much higher than in New Providence and Grand Bahama.
Governor Roll also indicated that foreign currency inflows through commercial banks were also higher during the first quarter of 2022 over the same period last year. He says the strength of reserves and the country's improved economic outlook can support a monetary policy for credit expansion.
The reserves as of the beginning of May were just above $3 billion. The central bank expects further seasonal accumulation in the external reserves over the remainder of the peak tourism months, before some reduction sets in over the second half of 2022. Nevertheless, we believe that conditions have improved enough such that by the end of 2022, some net gains will remain in the reserves compared to the end of 2021.
The central bank also expects to maintain a cautious but balanced approach to managing the country's foreign exchange reserves while safeguarding the stability of the financial sector. Fern Curie, ZNS Network News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
More attractive and durable banknotes have been unveiled by Barbados' central bank with new security features that make them harder to forge.
New polymer banknotes, which will officially go into circulation in December, are expected to last about 2.5 times longer than the existing paper notes. During an unveiling ceremony at the Frank Collymore Hall today, Gareth Evans, the country director for currency at De La Rue, the English-based company that is responsible for producing the banknotes, outlined some of the benefits.
Polymer on average we're seeing around the world lasts 2.5 times more than its cotton paper equivalents. That means the central banks need to replace the notes less often, they need to order less frequently, and makes it more cost effective over time. The second thing is with regards to security. So polymer allows for the inclusion of big, bold, innovative security features that make the banknotes very difficult to replicate, but easy for the public to authenticate. The third benefit really is one for the visually impaired. So with the polymer substrate, you're able to include new features that make the banknotes far more accessible to this community. And then lastly, I'd like to say that the polymer banknotes are being proven to be more environmentally friendly. As well as the increased durability and the reduction in logistics, the manufacturing process is actually more energy efficient than paper. And at the end of their life, the central bank can get the notes back in, they can securely destroy them, and then they can be recycled.
Meanwhile, Central Bank Governor Clevister Haynes, who described the new notes as attractive and modern, said cash is still widely used and this is unlikely to change for some time, even in an age of digital payments.
In 2021, the value of currency in circulation was $960 million, the equivalent of almost 10% of GDP. Simply put, cash continues to be widely used. For some people, it is their sole or at least their preferred way of paying, while for others, it is used in combination with other methods. We anticipate that over time, technology will displace some of the cash in circulation. Indeed, promoting the increased use of alternative forms of payment is a crucial element of our focus as an institution. We have challenged our financial institutions to join us on that journey by ensuring the availability of cost-effective modalities for payments in the modern age.
St. Lucia's Prime Minister Philip J. Pear warns the opposition of playing politics with increasing oil prices.
The current administration has come under fire from the opposition United Workers' Party for what the UWP claims is the lack of a robust response to the mounting cost of fuel products. However, Pierre counters that his administration has done all within its power to cushion the blow of fuel prices.
It's a simple fact that the supply of petrol, of gas, is limited. I've said before that the revenue for gas is only 80 cents. With the new price of diesel, we make 0 cents on diesel. Absolutely 0 cents on diesel. And we're subsidizing cooking gas by over $20. I think $23 to get. So, I mean, people can play the politics, but it's almost, I don't want to use the word, to be deliberately misleading people on something you cannot change.
Leader of Guyana's opposition, Aubrey Norton, strongly condemns Vice President Barrett Jackdio over utterances made during a recent outreach in Region 6.
Norton claimed that Jackdio purported the country's oil revenues as insufficient, thereby lowering the expectations of the average Guyanese who perhaps saw the evolution of the country as a gateway to improve their quality of life. He accused the vice president of being a liar and leading a corrupt regime that is creating conditions for friends, family, and associates of the People's Progressive Party to benefit from the oil and gas resources.
In this case, Jackdio again recited his government's claim that Guyana's current and projected oil revenue are inadequate to lift the living standards of the masses. As such, he added, Guyanese should lower their expectations and not listen to those who insist that oil revenues can transform the quality of life of all citizens. We are convinced that the Jackdio PPP approach is intended to deprive Guyanese of their benefits while enriching the PPP elite, family, and friends.
The opposition leader further corroborated his claim by pointing to an article published in some sections of the media recently, which indicated that the country is set to garner more than $5 billion in oil revenues in the next 4 years. The estimates were made prior to an upsurge in oil prices brought on by the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine.
Exxon's own projections show Guyana moving from 120,000 barrels of oil per day in 2020 to a minimum of 800,000 barrels of oil per day in 2025. This represents an increase of over 550% in only a few years. It will result in a gargantuan surge in GDP.
The revenues are expected to be accumulated from a production sharing agreement, PSA, the country has established with ExxonMobil and its partners in the Stabroek Block, Hess Corporation and CNOOC Limited. The APNUFC holds the firm view that the government should undertake a people-centered approach for the overall development of Guyanese, but must first stop the diversion of people's wealth by aborting efforts to wantonly waste taxpayers' dollars on failed projects such as a Milo Falls, Keldon Sugar Factory, and Moore Packaging Factory and others.
Conveniently located in the Grandstand Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Grandans will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
I am Eddie Frederick, wishing you a restful weekend. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.